This is not volcanic glass. It is a doorway. At first glance, it's just a polished piece of volcanic glass, an Aztec relic that somehow found its way to Europe centuries ago. But for Queen Elizabeth I's most trusted advisor, this was no mere artifact. It was a doorway. And what came through that door didn't just whisper the secrets of the universe. It demanded a price that would break a man and nearly an empire. The Queen's philosopher. In the chaotic court of Queen Elizabeth I, one man stood out. Dr. John Dee wasn't just another courtier. He was a full-blown Renaissance rock star. He was a brilliant mathematician, a pioneering navigator who helped chart England's New World ambitions, an astronomer and a philosopher. The Queen herself called him my philosopher, trusting his advice on everything from affairs of state to the most auspicious date for her own coronation. He was a huge champion of English expansion and is often credited with coining the term British Empire. Dee owned one of the largest private libraries in England, a personal collection of thousands of books that put the university libraries of his day to shame. By all accounts, he was a man at the cutting edge of human knowledge, a rationalist pushing the known boundaries of science. But behind the public face of the respected scientist was a secret obsession. By the 1580s, Dee had hit a wall. He felt that science and reason could only go so far. He believed the ultimate truths of the universe weren't hiding in books. They had to come from a much, much higher source. He became convinced he could heal the world's bitter religious divides, and to do it, he needed to talk to angels. And his phone to the divine? A captivating dark mirror of polished obsidian. The scryer and the shoestone. Modern science has confirmed what was long suspected. Geochemical analysis traces the mirror's obsidian back to Pachuca, Mexico, firmly in the Aztec heartland. For the Aztecs, these mirrors were serious business. They were linked to Tezcatlipoca, the god of sorcery and destiny, whose name literally means smoking mirror. These weren't just for decoration. They were used for divination and were seen as gateways to powerful and sometimes dangerous supernatural forces. How it got from a collapsing Aztec empire to Elizabethan England is a mystery, but its history as a divination tool wasn't lost on Dee. He called it his shoe stone, a scrying glass to peer into other worlds. There was just one problem. Dee couldn't see a thing. He lacked the gift of clairvoyance. He needed a partner, a scryer to be his eyes and ears to the other side. After a few false starts, he found his man in 1582, Edward Kelly. Kelly was a shady character, an alchemist decades younger than Dee, who even had a conviction for forgery. But Dee was sold. During their sessions, Kelly would stare into the mirror, fall into a trance, and describe the beings he saw and the messages they delivered. And Dee, the meticulous scholar, would sit nearby and write down every single word. The Enochian key. And what came through wasn't just vague prophecy. The angels started dictating an entire system of magic, terrifyingly complex and precise. They revealed what they claimed was the original language of humanity, the tongue spoken by Adam in Eden. Dee called it angelic. We know it today as Enochian. And this was no simple code. It came with its own 22-letter alphabet, a unique grammar and syntax, all dutifully recorded in Dee's journals. The angels laid out a new cosmology, a map of spiritual realms called ethers, and taught them a series of calls or keys, powerful invocations in the Enochian tongue. These keys, the angels claimed, were the sonic vibrations that could literally unlock the gates between worlds. For Dee, the mathematician, this was the ultimate union of faith and science. He believed he was receiving a direct revelation from God's messengers. The system's foundations were laid in these sessions, an intricate symbolic machine for contacting the divine, which would be studied and expanded upon by occultists for centuries to come. Together, Dee and Kelly took their show on the road, finding patrons in the courts of European nobles like Poland's Albert Waski and even the Holy Roman Emperor Rudolph II, all while the angelic conversations continued. The price of knowledge. For years, the partnership worked. Dee got his knowledge, prophecies, and alchemical secrets from the mirror. But the longer they did it, the stranger things got. The angels, or whatever they were, became more demanding. Their instructions grew more and more unsettling. The line between divine and demonic started to get awfully blurry. Then, in April of 1587, it all came to a head. During a session in Bohemia, Kelly relayed a truly shocking command from an angel named Madimi. For their holy work to continue, the angel declared, they had to become true spiritual brothers. And that meant sharing everything, including, the angel specified, their wives. Dee was horrified. His wife, Jane Frohman, was a young mother to his children. His diary records her tears and his own anguish. Yet, his faith in this angelic mission was absolute. He had bet his entire life, his fortune, and his reputation on it. To refuse now felt like denying God himself. So, on April 21st, 1587, Dee wrote in his journal that a pact was made. The unthinkable was done. This wife-swapping pact, as it's now known, was the breaking point. It destroyed the trust between them and shattered their lives. The partnership would limp on for a little while longer, but the psychological damage was done. It was the ultimate price for the knowledge they sought, a sacrifice demanded by the voices in the mirror. Soon after, Kelly and Dee parted ways for good. The aftermath. Dee finally returned to England in 1589, a broken man. While he'd been away, a mob, terrified he was a dark sorcerer, ransacked his home, destroying his lab and stealing priceless books from his legendary library. England had become a less tolerant place, and his influence at court was gone. Queen Elizabeth was kind to him, but his old power was a memory. He ended up as the warden of a college in Manchester, where he was miserable and resented. Then, the plague took his wife Jane and several of his children. The man who envisioned an empire spent his last years in poverty, begging the new king, James I, to clear his name from accusations of witchcraft. He died in obscurity, and we don't even know for sure where he's buried. As for Edward Kelly, he stayed in Europe, where his life spiraled into chaos. His claims of being able to make gold eventually got him imprisoned by Emperor Rudolph II. The details of his end are murky, but it's believed he died around late 1597. Some accounts say it was from injuries after a failed escape from a castle prison, but the truth is, nobody knows for sure. Today, that same obsidian mirror sits silently behind glass in the British Museum, an object that started its journey as a sacred tool for Aztec diviners before becoming the obsession of one of the greatest minds of the Renaissance. So what's the real story here? Was John Dee just a brilliant man conned by a clever fraud? Was it a shared delusion between two obsessive men? Or did they actually open a doorway to something else? The language and rituals they recorded were so complex, they're still studied by occultists today. It was a Renaissance attempt to hack reality, to engineer contact with a higher intelligence using symbols, sound, and a dark, reflective stone. And maybe its real power wasn't supernatural at all, but in the terrifying certainty it gave the men who used it. We're left with the chilling story of a man who stared into the abyss, and the unnerving question of what exactly stared back. So what do you think was speaking through the mirror? Angels? Demons? Or just the wild imagination of two men pushed to the edge? Let us know your theory in the comments. And if you love diving into historical mysteries where science and the supernatural collide, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next investigation.